Hey, Kevin Pelton, NBA writer for ESPN, back with more exclusive YouTube content. Today, I wanted to walk everyone through and kind of break down my grades for today's blockbuster trade, sending Donovan Mitchell to the Cleveland Cavaliers. A bit of a surprise here that he ends up in Cleveland. We all expected New York. The Knicks had more first-round picks to offer. They were Mitchell's hometown team and his, presumably desired destination, but instead Cleveland, a pretty aggressive swing here. I sort of compared it in the piece to an NFL team that has a star quarterback on a rookie contract, and they're trying to take advantage of that bargain deal and the spending advantage it creates. The Cavaliers with Evan Mobley still got 3 years left on his rookie deal, kind of similar. That lines up with the 3 years remaining on Donovan Mitchell's contract before his player option. And all of a sudden you add Mitchell to this group that already has Mobley, Jared Allen, and Darius Garland, who were both all-stars last year. And suddenly Cleveland with 3 all-stars from last season, as many as any other team, the Golden State Warriors, the defending champions, the only other ones with 3. Now, despite that, it's still a lot for them to give up. 3 unprotected first-round picks. They give up this year's lottery pick, number 14, Ochai Agbaji, is part of this deal. Lauri Markkanen, who was their starter at small forward last season, and then Collin Sexton in a sign-in trade as part of this, along with 2 swaps down the road as well. And I think ultimately for the Cavaliers to justify this kind of, pick expense, they need to bring back Mitchell for more than just the 3 years remaining on his contract. I mean, it's an exciting group now. I think Mitchell and Garland can fit together pretty well. They're both good enough 3-point shooters in the catch and shoot role, even though they're a little better. Both of them more accomplished as pull-up 3-point shooters than catch and shoot 3-point shooters, but they can make it work. You've got Mobley and Allen, their size, to kind of help protect those smaller guards defensively. I think this can be a contending team over the next, 2 to 3 seasons, but it is definitely a risk the Cavs are taking. And given what they gave up, that's why I ended up with a C grade for them. I think that, people are sometimes too negative about the C grade. That's not a failing grade. Certainly it's more of, a question of how do we balance the risk that you've taken versus the upside of adding a player as talented as Donovan Mitchell. On the other side, I don't think for the Jazz, this is quite the home run the Rudy Gobert trade was. Gobert, given his age, his contract, not nearly the kind of trade value you would expect in the market elsewhere that Donovan Mitchell was going to have. You knew that there were going to be multiple suitors for Mitchell. It was just kind of a matter of what that final package was. I think understandable for the Jazz to make this deal now ahead of the start of training camp. It clarifies for the things for them, gives them the ability to potentially trade Bojan Bogdanovic, Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, some of the veterans were holdovers from this group that made 6 consecutive playoff appearances. Now, pretty clearly, you take these draft picks with the ones they got from Minnesota in the Gobert trade. Utah's heading into a rebuild for the next few years here. I don't know if they'll quite get into the top of the lottery race this season, because they've still got a lot of NBA caliber talent on the roster, added some of it in this trade with Sexton and Markkanen. So, as well as Agbaji as someone who you expect to be able to come in and contribute right away as a 4-year college player who's age 22. So I don't know if it's they're right there in that Victor Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson ping pong ball race at the top right now, but certainly project them in the lottery and potentially continue selling off players before the trade deadline. And maybe by that point, they become one of the league's weaker teams and do end up in the high part of the lottery. So again, not the home run the Gobert trade was, but I still think, to get these draft picks pushed so far out, many of them beyond when Mitchell could potentially hit free agency, to get quality young players in return. They took back no bad salary to get a player who was a lottery pick this year. That combination still a winning trade, I think, for the Jazz. So I graded them a B+ on this one. And you can check out the full analysis, plenty more in-depth analysis in that piece on ESPN.com. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.